As the world mourns Pope Francis, history's most secretive transfer of power begins. White smoke, the path to a new pope, guides you through this momentous transition. We explain exactly what happens next, leading to the dramatic conclave vote. Learn how each ritual unfolds, what each tradition means, and why these ancient ceremonies still matter today. Follow along as the throne of St. Peter stands empty and a new chapter in church history begins. White Smoke, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you know what a group of flamingos is called? That's just one of thousands of facts you'll discover on 5 daily trivia questions. Hi, I'm Mark Ellison. Join me every weekday for 5 mind-expanding questions about everything from ancient history to modern technology. Perfect for impressing friends or dominating your next pub quiz. 5 daily trivia questions. And the answer, a group of flamingos, is called a flamboyance. 5 daily trivia questions.
Caloroga Shark Media.
Hey there, I'm Shoddy Mac with 5 good news stories. Hey, you know Maggie the penguin? Well, Maggie's actually Magnus. A British zoo said its female king penguin is actually a male. Oops. The Birdland Park and Gardens said the penguin, formerly known as Maggie, had a feather sent for DNA testing after keepers noticed the penguin attempting to initiate mating with Frank the male penguin. They checked and went, oh, Maggie's actually male, renamed Maggie Magnus. So now they only have one female penguin. That one is 30 years old and named Bill. Why did they name the female penguin Bill, Johnny Mac? Well, Bill received her name after initially being mistaken for a male. What's going on over there? Alistair Keane is the head keeper and told the Telegraph, discovering that Magnus is actually a male and his gender differs from what we initially believed presents another unique hurdle in our efforts to establish a successful breeding program. Zoo officials are working on obtaining a young female king penguin from a zoo in Germany. Somebody look under the hood there before we do that, okay? Hey, good news. Vitamin K, which is found in leafy greens and crucial for blood coagulation and calcium synthesis, may also cure prostate cancer. Not vitamin K specifically, but a precursor called menendione was found in a recent trial to interfere with the survival process of tumor cells and ultimately saw them explode. Scientists are working on more trials. I hope that works out. That would be awesome. Hey, good news. A jockey was reunited with his 3 Melbourne Cup trophies. That's a big deal race in Australia. All right, John, what happened to the trophies? He accidentally left them in the back of a cab in Sydney. Glen Boss won at the Melbourne Cup in 2003, 4, and 5. He took a cab to a speaking engagement in Sydney, and as the cab drove off, he realized he forgot one of his bags. He told West Australia Today, I arrived when I was due on stage to speak, so I rushed getting my bags off the back seat. I had 3 bags, but only 2 of them were grabbed. When I realized the 3rd bag was the one carrying my 3 Melbourne Cups, I nearly fainted and vomited from panic. He called the taxi company. He was put on hold for, quote, a long time, but they found the driver. The driver came back. Boss says, as you would understand, the cups mean the world to me, and I was super grateful to get them back. If you were at the Tim Hortons drive-thru and you were like, hey, is that a steer? Yes, it is. Kelly said she originally bought the steer named Magnum, not to be confused with a penguin. Magnum the steer was originally going to be meat, but Kelly got attached to him and said he's a cow, but with the mentality of a horse and the personality of a dog. She decided he's a friend, not food. He'd come in and moo at me. He would run around the barn and call for me. Now they take trips to the Tim Hortons drive-thru. She says, I like to go to Tim Hortons. Many people do it with horses, but that's too common. It just has some social time and people love to see it. Kelly says, the people at Tim Hortons seem surprised, happy, and they took a lot of pictures. Some invited me to take a coffee. Some people come to have a chat, and some people ask questions. Got another good medical study for you today. This one from Veterinary and Comparative Oncology. The study suggests that dogs might be able, perhaps, to smell bladder cancer in other dogs' urine. This could be an effective way to diagnose the disease in dogs. The results show that canine bladder cancer has a distinct smell, which specifically trained dogs can rapidly and non-invasively detect with up to 90% sensitivity. Around 1 in 4 dogs will develop cancer during their lifetime, and UC is the most common bladder cancer in dogs, accounting for almost 2% of all reported canine cancers. The dogs, a chocolate working Cocker Spaniel named Kizzy, and a black Cocker Spaniel named Joby, and a black lab named Marlowe, were trained to sniff urine samples attached to meat stands. They were trained to show behavior only responding to positive samples. If they did that correctly, they were rewarded with food. Claire is the CEO of Medical Detection Dogs and says dogs are way more than only man's best friend. And those are your 5 good news stories for today. If you enjoy the program, tell a friend about it too. If you would like the program without commercial interruption, there's a link in the show notes. It's a short version. It's for $5 a month. You can get this show and 20 plus others on the network commercial free. All right, link in the show notes there. You have an awesome day.